There we go. This is Tom Robb talking about mReader, extensive reading program he has developed.
Each school has a site within it, so there are over 500 sites now within it. So you get a site, and one person at your school, normally the first person who starts, becomes the administrator of the site. That person uploads the teacher's qualifications or whatever it is. Oh, hi, Jessica. and then creates the classes and assigns teacher the classes, and then uploads the list of students on with a CSV file that matches the students with the classes, and then you get the class list, which you'll see in a minute. So this, anyway, is for each of the levels, the highest student around the world, and then there's an expanded list so you can see the 10 highest students. So
just like random students around the world.
Pardon?
Just people around the world.
Yeah,
like
that's
just
quite
people.
random because you get more motivated ones around the world.
True.
Right?
But they're like not anyone you know. They're not your okay.
Oh no.
What do the numbers represent? So if we say 46.
The word count in the past 30 days.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll just go down to level 9. Then we also have the leaders the past 3 months, the past 6 months, the past year, the past 2 years, who has read the most. So for a lot of students, this motivates them quite a bit, especially in the United Arab Emirates. It's competition that gets them to read because apparently they can't count it for too much of their brain. Right? So, all right, so we're done with that. Now I can make this a bit smaller. These are publishers who are helping to sponsor not just the mReader site, but the Extensive Reading Foundation, which is the owner of the site. So I'll log in here, and I'm going to log in actually with my super user.
All you want students to watch is from 2 minutes to 2:20. That's all. Rather than having to scan through the entire video.
And this is a page which you don't need to see, because that's my super user page for assigning new sites and things like that. But if I do this, I can get to the site for my school, Kyoto Zhang University. So this page is for the administrator. One person in school sees it. It's relatively complex, but you're doing it. It's not overwhelming, right? And there's help.
And the other question, why would someone want to...
Well, that's not too much help, but anyway, explaining the various features and what you need to do to administer. Here is the enrollment screen, so here are the teacher registrations, and then under that, here are the teachers matched up with classes, and these access codes usually we don't use. That's if you're in a situation where rather than uploading everything yourself from an enrollment list, you have to tell the students to go in and self-register. Then they need that code to act, so they're connected to their class. Right. And then this has information on how to set this up. There's even some videos on how to do it. And then these are the students, and you can search for students by just doing, for example, G173. And now it's just showing the ones that start with 173.
But you've uploaded your students?
No, I'm not the manager for my school.
But somebody
yes,
did. Students don't do themselves.
No, they don't.
Okay.
If you get the students to self-register, it becomes a mess because they don't do it the way they should. They don't spell the name the same way.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so
So for instance, I approach my either library or IT and say, okay, we would like to use this site for 7 different classes and 4 different teachers.
Right.
And so the administrator,
whoever the administrator
the
is,
person, would then set up 7 different classes,
within
right?
this one. Yes, so it'd be one site. You can actually have multiple sites as well if the parameters are different, like the starting and end dates of the term or some of those things.
Mini
can have
sessions,
multiple-
small sessions, okay.
Right. So that's possible too. And every school, KSU, Kyoto Saigo University, has a separate prefix because usually we register with a student ID for the username so that there's never any duplication. And if they do register the next year for another class that uses it, all of their history will come with it. Okay, so every school gets assigned that. And so now I can go to a class. let me go to here. So this is the class screen. By the way, you can upload any graphic you want, basically in that shape, to tailor make it. And whoops, come on, how do I get this to cooperate? All right, so this is one class, and the colors have a meaning. Okay, the one over here, over their ID, shows how long it's been since the last time they accessed the site. And red means it's been over 4 weeks. Okay. Now you may think those are bad students, but actually the course hasn't been. They've done this during the spring vacation to get a leg up on their reading for this term, because the goal for the term, which would end in July, is 140,000 words, and so a lot of them are reading already. And so this color slowly gets deeper red.
Can I ask a question? So, for instance, do you assign this stuff, say, at the beginning of the semester or the year, and then they have, so their goal is 140,000.
Right.
Do you find that, like halfway through the term or whatever, they're only at 2,000? And so
well, that's what this is here. This shows where they currently are. So we've subdivided the term into 3 terms. So this one, it says goal 1 for May 3rd, and then this is goal 2 for June 6th, and goal, whoops, I thought it was a goal 3. Yeah, July 11th. So we're still working on doing the ends up in a second. And then this is for the whole term. So the orange means are over 50% of the goal for the whole term. Then if you click on someone, let's find somebody who has a decent number. Okay. This is what the student sees. These are all the books that Sanaya read last term, last year actually. And these are the ones that she's read since the term ended at the end of January. And then here's a visual record here, and this is a progress bar. So every time you pass another quiz, one gets added here, and this bar grows. And also, if you took a quiz at your current level, and this student's level right now is level 7, then you get 1 green box. And then when the green boxes are full, you get promoted automatically to the next level. Okay. And the students are restricted, as I said, to reading books at their level or lower. Now, for this student, let's see, when they want to read a book or want to take the quiz in a book, they go to view available quizzes here. And then let me just pick a publisher that has a wide variety. Cengage, page turns. Search. Okay, so oh, these are all green. Oh no, that one's red. And that's red because it's level 9, and she's not there yet. Okay. So if the frame is green, they can take the quiz. And there are many reasons why it'll be red. One is the level's too high. One is they took a quiz just 2 hours ago, so there's a time span between it, which depends on what level the quiz is that you're going to take. If they read Tom Sawyer and took the quiz from Macmillan, they can't do the Oxford one anymore. Okay, the same title of different publisher doesn't fly. I think those are the basic ones. So anyway, so then.
I'm sorry, if I were to you, but for instance, if you say you have the Cambridge version in your library,
right,
but the student accidentally takes the Macmillan, is there a way to say, no, I only want the Cambridge?
Well, yes, you can restrict the books that the students can select, but it usually isn't a problem because they're seeing the cover of the book when they choose.
That's true.
Right, so
This is only for graded readers.
no, if it were, we'd be short of material. Because so we have things like, let me choose another one, Curious George, Magic Treehouse, quite a few, Goosebumps. So we have 6,500 quizzes on the system. And anything that we don't have, as long as somebody volunteers to make the quiz, we'll put it up. Okay, we have guidelines for how to make the quizzes. But a lot of the quizzes are made by volunteer teachers. We have one teacher, retired now, who's made over 1,000 quizzes. She's addicted to them.
Oh my gosh.
And then some of them the publishers do, like Black Cat has asked actually that same teacher to do it for a fee, and so she has made the quizzes for many of the Black Cat books, and that she's getting paid for. We have a couple other teachers that haven't been quite so prolific, but they're also creating them for the publishers. Because now the publishers have found that in Japan at least, if there's no quiz, the teachers won't buy the books because the teacher wants to know that everything that the students are read has a quiz. Okay. There is
how do you get rights to the books from all these publishers?
There's no reading material. It's only the quizzes.
So you have to have the books in your library.
Yeah, so they have to be on library or sometimes online as possible. If you really want the reading material, there is an online site called xreading.com, which is for a fee, but it's not all that expensive. And if you use that, they can read the book, they can listen to the book, and you can see how long, what the reading speed is by how fast they flip. So if they try to go like this and then take the quiz because they already know the story from the movie or something, it won't give them credit because the reading speed was too fast. And then if they read a book which there's no digital version for it, if there's no digital version for it, they take the mReader quiz from within xReading. We have a sign up, and then we get two yen every time a student takes the mReader quiz inside xReading. So I'm not opposed to this site. I'm one of their advisors. But anyway, so the quizzes themselves have usually 10 questions. And there's always 20 or more questions, so each student gets a different base. So they can't tell anyone else exactly what the questions are. So there's some multiple choice questions, and there's usually one or two, who said this, who said it should be identifiable because only one person could possibly have said that. Then there's some true and false, and the last one's an ordering one where we have, say, 15 events in the story, and they have to drag and drop a subset of maybe 8 of them into the correct order. And so the students generally enjoy it. It takes them only 5 minutes or less usually to take the quiz, although usually the time limit is 15 minutes. Some books, though, the time limit is only 6 minutes because it's short and factual, and they could actually find all the answers in the book without reading it if the time limit was 15. So.
I'm sorry, how long was it? 5 minutes?
6 minutes is, but that's only for some books. The Cengage footprint books have a very low one because they're short and factual. But usually it's 15 minutes for a book. And students generally are not allowed to retake a quiz because we found if they can retake the quiz, they don't do a decent job the first time. They say, well, if I fail it, I can ask to do it again. So, but the teacher can. We made it difficult, but the teacher can allow a retake if they want, like, the battery ran out on their phone or whatever. So, that works as well. But
can you see the quizzes before? Can the teacher go in and look at the quizzes?
Yes, but you aren't going to see all the questions because you'll see, just
one sample.
One sample of 10. Yeah. If you go to, let me see if I do that. I can get back.
In this video,
the teacher has a page from the class page. It's not going. I think if I peel this back.
How many questions are there for quiz?
We have a minimum of 20 questions, of which a student gets 10, but very often the quiz has more than that. Okay, let me go back again to, what was it, E2. I'm just searching for something that is in the title of this school's account and go back to the class. And up here, there is my student page. And this allows you to take a quiz. So let me just do something basically at random here. No books found. I'm not sure why that happened. Oh, this is Henry and Mudge. Okay. Do you want to take this quiz now? Okay. And then you get the quiz. Henry wanted Annie to take care of Mudge and play baseball. I don't know what. I don't think I read this one. Oh, okay. Annie named her bunny Snowball, maybe? Anyone know? Okay. Before Henry Mudge and Annie couldn't play together because Annie used to live far away, I think. Who says this? We found Annie's perfect pet. Henry's father, maybe? Yeah. Who says this? She's so cute. That must have been
Annie.
Yeah. Hey, remember this book?
No. My students are constantly trying to take the quizzes without reading the books.
Yeah.
And
Who says this?
the questions actually trip them up. They can't do it. They
Oh,
can't
really?
pass. Yeah.
Who says this? Annie's afraid of mice. Uncle Ed, maybe? Annie took her bunny everywhere. Probably true. Annie wanted a pet which could dance with her? That seems rather false. Unless it was a hawk that they got.
Oh, I got that one. I like how you did that. That was good.
And
Only a beer
Annie
drinker.
moved to next to Henry's house. Was that true? Well, I don't know. I can't remember.
Yes, that is true.
Okay, and then here's the drag and drop. Okay, so Annie named the bunny Snow. Well, we'll ask you later. Moved to house next to Henry. Henry's mother said that a bunny would be a good pet. That's before she names it. Annie's father built a pretty house for the bunny. That must be down here. Henry asked his parents about a pet for Annie. Maybe that's here. Annie wished she had a dog. Really? Why, did she give up on the rabbit? I don't know. Maybe let's put that here. Okay, next. And then there's always some questions for them to evaluate the book. And we can pass this information on to publishers, and the teachers can see it in order to know which books are popular and so forth. You just have to cheat and answer one of them in order to get out of this. Otherwise, the students very often get tripped up. They don't answer the quiz and they say, I can't read another book in 11. It's because they're locked out. There's a warning there and they don't read it. Okay, submit. Oh no, we failed. Okay, so now it says here, not pass. Yeah, we're bad. No. I can because I'm a super admin, okay? No, you can't see the answers. We are trying to keep this as secure as possible.
So
Right?
you can't see like if they enjoyed the book, even that last part.
Well,
How
what
long
you
is
can
it
see
then?
is, if I click on, oh, it doesn't work here. You can see what the percentage was, so you have an idea of how many questions they actually missed. But you can't see which ones it was, okay?
So what's the point of that page that says like all of their personal questions if they liked it, like how long it took?
Oh,
them?
what is the point of that? Is for us to gather data on how good the books are.
For you as the company,
Not as a company. I'm not. This is a free site for extensive reading. No, for us to be able to evaluate the books. For example, there's one question about how much could you forget that you were reading and just enjoy it. Okay, and that measures the amount of flow that there is in it. And so we can see that some books they don't enjoy, and there's very little flow. They always know they're studying. Other books they forget completely because they're really enjoying it. So we do have a list of books which have high ratings and so forth, which we can provide teachers with if they're wondering, which books maybe they should buy. So yeah, it's used for that. That's basically a research type of question. Any other questions? So if you go to mReader.org to the information there, there's email address. It's just admin@mReader.org. And I usually send a sample, some links so you can log in as a teacher and a student so you can experience the site. And then if you say, yes, this looks like it's going to work for me, then I send you an access code which allows you to start your own site for the school which you administer. And one of the things you have to agree to on the site when you sign in is that if there are any other teachers, you would either register their classes on the site or you pass the administrative responsibilities to the other person. Ideally, though, it works best when it's a whole curriculum, a whole level that is doing it, rather than one teacher, one off. But generally speaking, very often it's one teacher who tries first and says, hey, this works, and gets other people excited about it. So now it's spread. So, as I said, now there are over 100,000 users, and they keep coming. We get some people who find it doesn't work for them, but or they prefer a different method. But generally speaking, they keep coming back to it. I get teachers say, well, I used to be at this school, it's using mReader, now I'm here, can I use it at my school? So, I mean, the price is right, it's free, right? And fortunately, because we have an administrator at school, we have a manual and so forth, I don't get too many questions, maybe 1 or 2 a day from all 500 schools about some problem that they can't answer. So it generally is working well, and it's not too much of a burden on me. It's much more of a burden trying to get new quizzes up and do that aspect of things. I have an assistant who gets paid to put them up from the funding that we receive. But,
How long have you been doing this for free?
it's been about 10 years since we started. We made it for our school, but we knew there was no way that we could make all the quizzes. We made about 200 quizzes to start. Oxford University Press kindly agreed to make stages 4, 5, and 6 of the bookworms. We made 1, 2, and 3. And so we had a starter set there. And then slowly schools could use it for free, and so then they said, hey, can we make more quizzes for it and so forth. Then we got more publishers on board making quizzes. Robb, who is the editor of 3 different series for Cengage, is a member of the Extensive Reading Foundation, and so he had quizzes made for all of his books, and so that gave us a starter set, and from there it just slowly snowballed. Any other questions? How are we doing time-wise?
I think at some point they change you.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be at 10:25. I think 11:25. No, 11:25. So you're welcome to use it if you think it'll work, but you have to have the graded readers, basically. And it works best if the library is managing them rather than you. In my case, I had to have a card at the beginning and roll it into class and so forth. The library wouldn't touch them. Fortunately, after about 5 years, the head librarian retired. And the new librarian was a lot more cooperative. Now they love us because the patronage in many libraries is going down, and here we're sending all sorts of students in, so the statistics are going up. And so, if we need more of a book, they're quite happy. And we have it nicely arranged, so all the books at one level are all together in a special extensive reading section in the library. We have 14,000 books now in our library.
To go to a different workstation, check out a different presentation.
I'm sure you said it before, but what graded readers does the mReader work with? Is it all of them? Oxford, Pearson, Penguin?
We have 6,500.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah. And if it isn't there, you're welcome to make the quiz.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and you said you were an advisor for X-Reader. And X-Reader, you pay...
X-Reading.
X-Reading, that's right. And
right.
X-Reading works
it's
similarly?
Yes,
except that you get the books for the fee.
Well, you don't get the books. They're online, and
yes.
you read them online, like Kindle or whatever.
So for a librarian, the choice is you either buy the books and put them on the shelves, or you can go to the site and pay to have the students use the books.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Any other
there are
differences?
those 2 choices. Well, X-Reading is limited because Paul Goldberg, who is the creator of X-Reading, actually has to deal with all the publishers and get them on board, and they charge money to have their books on the site. So it's limited to 600 to 800 now, but that's slowly growing. He has now a fee sharing thing where 50% of the proceeds for each year are divided up among the publishers by how many of their books have been read. So that's working fairly well.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome.
You've been talking to Tom Robb here at the TESOL 2018 Chicago conference, the Electronic Village. He's been talking about mReader.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know how to turn this off, so I'll have to just play with it. Okay, I'll take it off to myself.
I just wanted to say hi to you in person. Thank you so much for setting up mReader for me the other week. They all got sorted. Extensive reading interest.
Yeah, that's half an hour.
So I'll see you on the
No, not half an hour.